Red Dead Redemption 2 was probably one of the best, if not the best game I have ever played. Everything was perfect. Soundtrack, characters, story, and especially its main character, Arthur Morgan. He's probably one of the best protagonists of all time. Personally, I have never seen any game character with this good development and complexity. Arthur Morgan is a truly fascinating man. Rockstar has produced a ton of interesting and relatable characters through GTA and the previous Red Dead Redemption games, but none are quite like Arthur. Even his predecessor, or successor technically, John did not have the intensity and multi-layered persona that Arthur Morgan has. Everything he draws you in, his beliefs and intricacies as a man are captivating, and all of his actions serve some greater purpose for the story. While John Marston is certainly a well-made and engaging character, Arthur is more relatable and charming in his own way. It will be tough for Rockstar to beat Arthur's character quality-wise in whatever upcoming games they produce. We learned a lot of things about his character, but not many people know about his past before events of Red Dead Redemption 2, and in today's video we will talk about everything we know about Arthur Morgan before Red Dead Redemption 2. Let's start talking about his family. Well, Arthur Morgan was born in 1863 to Beatrice and Lyle Morgan. His mother died when he was very young, and his father was a petty criminal and outlaw who was arrested for larceny in 1874 when Arthur was only 11 years old. At some point, Lyle was killed and Arthur witnessed it, turning his head afterward. He keeps relatively mum about for most of the game. He does not talk about his father much throughout the game, but there are some details we can pick up on in the first few chapters. Arthur did not get along with his father and said that his father lived far too long for anyone's goodwill. If his father was that bad, why does Arthur keep his father's mugshot by his bed then? I hope we will hear more about his parents in upcoming Red Dead Redemption game. Around 1877, Arthur was picked up by Dutch wonder Linde and Hosea Matthews. Hosea later states that Arthur was about 13 when they found him. Viewing him as a surrogate father figure, Arthur came to share Dutch's vision of a life lived free from the constraints of civilization and the rule of law, becoming one of the first members of the Wonderland gang. It is also implied that the gang was only the three of them for quite a long time. During the final fight to save John, it's hard to miss that Arthur does not shoot back at Dutch. He doesn't have some furious monologue about betrayal. He doesn't have any ill will or spite towards to Dutch at all. Arthur believed that until the end of Dutch's life, there was some goodness in him, some semblance of the Dutch that raised him like a father would. At some point during his youth, Arthur met a girl named Mary Gillis, and the two were deeply in love. However, Arthur's preference for a life of a crime and the prevalent disapproval of Mary's family caused their relationship to fall through. Afterward, Mary eventually married a man named Barry Linton and took on his surname. Barry later passed away after contracting pneumonia, leaving her a widow. To make matters worse, her family grew to be dysfunctional as well. Her brother Jamie had joined Colonia, an infamous fanatical cult. Her father gradually became withdrawn and verbally abusive to his children, growing increasingly dependent on alcohol, gambling, and eventually began pawing off much of their family's property. Arthur never found love again, but the two still shared feelings for each other, up to the very end. During the credits, Mary is seen visiting Arthur's grave, quietly weeping for his loss. At some point later, Arthur met and slept with a young waitress named Eliza, resulting in her becoming pregnant with their son, Isaac. Eliza knew what Arthur was, but accepted whatever support he offered to her and their son, as well as personal involvement in their personal lives. Arthur would visit Eliza and Isaac every few months and stay with them for days at a time. One day, Arthur arrived at their home and saw two crosses outside. Arthur knew immediately that they were both dead, and later learned that they were killed by robbers, all for $10. The incident hardened Arthur ever since, and he never truly coped with the pain. I guess the death of Arthur's 10-year-old son Isaac and the boy's mother is the reason that Arthur stays as a lonely man. Even Mary Beth, who shows explicit interest in him and is in pursuit safe environment to have a family, does not spur Arthur's interest simply because he doesn't want the world to have another Isaac. I mean, who would want to risk bringing a child into such a chaotic world, especially if you have already lost one to its evils? Arthur could not protect his son, so he pretty much abstains to prevent getting anybody pregnant with his child. It's sad to think that perhaps Arthur sees his late son Isaac in Jack in a way, but their interactions are nothing but positive when they are together in the game. When Arthur makes the ultimate sacrifice, he does so for Jack more than anyone else. Right now, this is all we know about the past of Arthur Morgan. I hope we will hear more about him in the upcoming game, which is not confirmed yet. Hope all of you enjoyed with today's video. Like and subscribe for more. Red Always out. Bye.